Title: The Egg of Greed, a heart-touching moral story. A life of struggle in a quiet, remote village lived a
poor but hard-working farmer named Salim. His days began
before sunrise and ended with the stars above, yet his earnings could barely feed his family. He lived with his wife Zubaida, a woman of great patience and deep faith. Together they raised
two children, Arif, a curious boy, and Nayab, their sweet little daughter.
Their mud house had cracks in the walls, their utensils were dull, and meals often consisted of lentils and dry bread. Still, love and gratitude filled the air. Every night, Salim looked up at
the sky and whispered, "O Allah, just give enough to fill my children's stomachs. That is all I ask." The stranger and the mysterious egg.
One day, returning from the fields, Salim came across an old
beggar sitting beneath a shady tree. The man had deep eyes, as
if they had witnessed centuries. Salim offered him the last piece of bread he had. The old man took it with a smile and said,
"You've given with a pure heart. Take this egg, but beware.
Never let greed take over. This egg is not ordinary. If you respect it,
your life will change." Salim, puzzled yet intrigued, took
the egg home and showed it to his wife. Zubaida held the egg, examined it
carefully, and said, "It looks normal, but perhaps the
old man knew something we don't." They placed the egg in a small straw nest and left it for the night. A miracle begins. The next morning, to Salim's shock, there were two eggs beside the original one. He rubbed his eyes. "Zubaida, come quickly, look at this." It multiplied. They kept the eggs safely. The next
day, 3, then 4. Within a week, they had a dozen.
Salim started selling the extra eggs in the local market. The money started flowing in. Slowly, the house changed. New clothes, fresh food, a soft mattress for the children. Smiles returned.
Zubaida remained grounded. "Remember, Salim, be thankful. But don't forget the old man's warning. From blessing to pride."
With time, Salim stopped farming. Why work in the sun
when the eggs alone could earn him more? He bought a new cart, built a small
shop, hired a boy to help him, but the more he got, the more he wanted. He began dreaming of a bigger house, gold, lands, a motorbike.
Maybe even becoming the richest man in the district. One night, he had a dream. A voice whispered, "Inside the egg lies gold. You only
need to cut it open." He awoke sweating, heart pounding, the image still burning
in his mind. The seed of greed. Days passed, but the dream
haunted him. Salim, to himself, if I get 5 eggs daily, how many more must be inside? Why wait days? What if I open the hen and get them all at once? Zubaida noticed the change. "Zubaida, you're thinking something dangerous. We've been blessed. Don't let greed take it all away."
But Salim's heart was no longer listening. He sharpened his knife. His hands
trembled, but not with fear, with excitement. The fatal choice. Late at night, while the village slept, Salim entered the small room where the miraculous hen rested. It clucked softly as he approached. He picked it up, whispered, "Forgive me, but I must have it all now." Then, in one swift motion, he slit the bird open. Silence. He searched. Nothing. No eggs, no gold. Just blood. And then, guilt. The room, once filled with miracles, now smelled of loss. Fall from fortune. The next morning, no egg appeared. Nor the day after. Nor ever again. Salim's shop began losing customers. He had to sell the cart, then the furniture, then their only cow. Neighbors whispered. Children stopped playing outside. Zubaida's eyes no longer sparkled. Arif dropped out of school. Nayab cried silently at night. Salim sat outside every evening, staring at the broken hen's feathers, whispering, "Why didn't I listen? Why didn't I wait?" Time and regret.
Years passed. Salim's beard grew white. His hands calloused from returning to Farming. The land had no miracle. Now, only hard earned wheat and sweat. Yet, in his eyes, was a wisdom, forged from loss.
He now sat near the same tree where the old man once sat. Children would gather around, and he would begin. Once, I had a magical egg, and I lost it all because of one word: greed. Moral of the story, dear listeners, what do we learn? Greed is a silent poison. It whispers sweet things.
Promises riches, shortcuts, and fast success. But it never tells you about the cost. If Salim had waited, been patient, and continued to be thankful, his family would have lived in peace forever. But greed made him take more than he was meant to. And in the process, he lost everything. Final words. Be content. Be grateful. Work hard, and trust time. Because blessings, they come slowly, but stay long. And greed, it takes everything, and leaves you with nothing.